Still watching Prime Morning. It's time for us to delve into what the newspapers have for us. Time for News Flash, which is proudly brought to you by Franco Trading Enterprise. Still, phone pair for you. What gadget are you looking for? Is it mobile phones, television sets, CCTV cameras? I mean, any gadget you're looking for, we've got all of them. All you need to do is to download the app on your phone, Franco Trading app on your phone, or you visit any of our shops and we'll serve you. Now, there are so many scammers on Google, so please do not go to Google to pick up a number. They will scam you. Just come to any of our shops, or you can visit our website, www.francotradingenterprise. Franco Trading Enterprise, sale phone pair fee. Like I said earlier, it's time for us to delve into what the newspapers have for us. But don't forget that our main topic happens to be NDC's Youth Manifesto, which was launched yesterday. We saw a huge gathering. It started from the morning where the gathering happened at UPSA and later went to a bigger auditorium. And at UPSA, certain campaign promises were made to the youth, how they were going to empower the youth to prevent the youth from traveling abroad to seek for greener pastures. They said that they are going to make sure that Ghana is your greener pasture so you don't step out anymore. They are going to create 10,000 businesses for the young ones. They are going to make sure that tertiary, level 100 tertiary education is free. Of course, there were so many things that were spoken as well. Let's talk about galamsey, where they will make sure that they legalize it, to not legalize galamsey, but rather to legalize small-scale mining for those who want to get into it, to have access to it as well and operate in a good space and freedom. Of course, they also spoke about agriculture, where if you're a young person and you want to go into agriculture, they will actually help you with the provision of land. So they will liaise with the chiefs so that you can have access to land and you can produce food for Mother Ghana. What do you think about this? Is there anything I've left out that you are interested in? You can send that message to us. What did you hear that tickled your fancy? What made you feel that it's time to vote the NDC to power? Do you think the NDC can implement these campaign promises? Well, let's delve into that. Send your messages to us at 055-157-5757, 055-157-5757. Let me quickly delve into what the newspapers have for us. And if our messages start trickling in, I can get interactive with you, my viewers right now. Let's see. I think my producer is saying that we'll try to activate the phone line because we want to hear your voice, what you think about what the NDC spoke about with regards to their youth manifesto yesterday. So maybe we'll activate the phone line to hear your voice this morning, and then we can usher in our guests who will join us, our studio guests who will join us, and delve into that conversation deeper. But once you see the number on your phone, you can quickly call us and we hear your voice. We'll start with the Economy Times newspaper, the Economy Times newspaper. Utility tariffs, fuel prices, and exchange rate threaten inflation outlook. Ghana's gold reserves hit 65 tons. Ghana ranks favorably on corruption, RMB report says so. The Daily Dispatch newspaper, no polling station will have more than 750 voters. There could be 15 candidates on 2024 presidential ballot. 15 candidates, where are they coming from? Who is voting for them? It looks like everybody wants to be on the ballot sheet. And people ask the question, what is it? If you get on the ballot sheet, what happens? Please let us know so that those of us who don't know about it, maybe we'll also want to get on the ballot sheet one day. Because if you're paying over 100,000 Ghana cedis to get on a ballot sheet, there must be something very, very good in there that people don't know about it. So you should let us know. Because some of you know, obviously, you are not winning, but you still want to be on the ballot sheet. So let us know why you want to be on the ballot sheet so that our younger ones will also want to be on the ballot sheet one day. Airbus scandal, Mahama's exoneration does not end the case, says Martin Pebu. And Baumia's government will be about job creation, says Opoku Prempe. I am looking at the date of this, and it's Tuesday edition, which is the 13th of August, 2024. We look at newspapers, we look at the media space, and we say we want a free and fair reportage. But it's quite strange that I'm looking at the Daily Dispatch. I'm not coming for anybody, but I'm looking at the Daily Dispatch that does not report anything on the Youth Manifesto that was delivered yesterday by the main opposition party. Quite disappointing, I must say. Very disappointing. I'll do the Ghanaian Times newspaper next. The Ghanaian Times. Commit to anti-corruption issues, coalition demands from political parties. Roads Minister orders KMA to stop construction of buildings in waterways in Kumasi. Ni Odai Into family appeals to Lands Commission for fairness in land demarcation exercise, and at NDC's Youth Manifesto launch will create the jobs for you, Mahama assures the youth. The Daily Graphic newspaper says Mahama launches NDC Youth Manifesto, promises to create more jobs. Kolebu secures 30 new dialysis machines. I want to delve into this. Let me quickly read what this is saying, because as of Friday, the Kolebu renal unit was shut down. Or was closed. Let me use that word, because if I say shut down, somebody will think it's not going to be opened again. It was closed. So it says, the Ministry of Health has procured 30 additional dialysis machines for the Kolebu Teaching Hospital. The new machines, which have their own consumables, that can last for a year, will be deployed to the new urology and nephrology center of excellence at the hospital and installed for use before the end of the year. The head of public relations office of the hospital, Mustafa Salifu, who disclosed this in an interview with Daily Graphic yesterday, said the machines were purchased through the initiative of Minister of Health. Okay, but I'm trying to see if there's anything. Okay, so yes, welcome news. So this is the welcome news. Reacting to the news of the reopening of the renal dialysis unit, the president of the Renal Patients Association of Ghana, Bafo Kojo Ahenkra, said it was welcome news because they did not need to seek the services of private facilities where the cost of treatment was very high. So this is the good news. So it's reopened, finally reopened. Oh, it's reopening. Hey, which is when is it going to be opened? Because it doesn't look like it's been open, so reopening. Okay, we'll get to the bottom of it today. NLA loses 1 billion Ghana cedis to illegal lotto operations. Devices plan to reverse trend. Stop threatening violence. Peace Council urges political parties. And this and many more is what the newspaper is reporting. Let me see if I can quickly read a little bit on what the Daily Graphic is saying about Mahama launching the NDC Youth Manifesto. All right, so it reads, former President John Dramani Mahama has made a commitment to the youth that he will create abundant job opportunities that will meet their diverse needs and aspirations. Dear young ones, do you think it's feasible? Do you think it can be done? Do you think so? Because every election year, we hear these campaign promises made to the young ones. So it's like the young ones become a tool for election. So these campaign promises are made. But when you look at the two main political parties we have in Ghana, NDC and NPP, who do you think delivers campaign promises the most? Let's hear your voice this morning. Who do you think delivers campaign promises the most? One will tell you, I'll do A, B, C, D. The other will tell you, I'll do B, C, D. Now, the question here is, who can do and who cannot do? Because we've tested both political parties. So we can't say that, oh, we don't know them, and so we are not even trying them. We know them. We know what they can do. They've all served very well for us to experience it. Let's know what you think about these two political parties and who can deliver. Do you think the NDC can deliver the kind of campaign promises they made to the youth yesterday? Or you think it's just one of those things that are said to woo voters to vote for them? Let's hear your voice. And it continues. Launching the 2024 Youth Manifesto of the National Democratic Congress in Accra yesterday, Mr. Mahama declared will create the jobs that young people have been waiting for. And when the jobs are created, no one will be left behind. Okay. If this is doable, let's know. You can actually, maybe we should receive calls. Maybe. Because I know I'm getting some messages coming in. People want to talk. They feel it's very difficult for you to express yourself via text message. Don't worry. So if you're struggling to express yourself via text message this morning because probably you are very excited or you are very furious and you want us to feel your emotions, you can actually call us. Let's hear your voice on NDC's Manifesto. I want you to watch a look at some of the things that took place yesterday, and then when we come back, maybe we'll receive 1 or 2 phone calls. And like I said to you earlier, we'll definitely bring you that video. So please pardon us for now, but the video will definitely be played. You're still watching Prime Morning, and this segment is proudly brought to you by Franco Trading Enterprise. Still, phone prepare. Whatever gadget you're looking for, I urge you to go to Franco Trading Enterprise for their gadgets because it's very, very authentic. Whether mobile phones, television sets, CCTV cameras, and even many more, we have all of that for you. Worry no more. Download the app on your phone, Franco Trading app, or visit our website, www.francotradingenterprise.com. Franco Trading Enterprise, still phone prepare. And what in the manifesto tickled your fancy yesterday? So many things were said, and I want to welcome my first guest, who is representing the NDC. But don't forget that we want to hear your voice as well. This day, we want to hear your voice because we know where you want to, we know what you want to say. We know how you feel. So let's hear your voice this morning. And I want to welcome my guest, Hamza Suhuyini Esquire, who's representing the NDC this morning. Hi, Hamza.
Hello, good morning.
How are you?
Not bad. We're surviving, at least for now.
First time here?
I should think so.
Yeah.
It was my first time.
Fantastic. I want us to actually watch this video, except of what happened yesterday when the NDC delivered its youth manifesto. Take a look.
Commitments to establish a dedicated ministry for youth development. This ministry will centralize the coordination of youth initiatives in Ghana. It will facilitate job creation. It will promote entrepreneurship. It will provide scholarships and enhance youth participation in decision-making, while ensuring the effective implementation of the National Youth Authority Act. Despite various initiatives, a significant gap still exists between the skills offered by educational institutions and the demands of our job market. Only about 10% of our young people receive formal skills training, and thereby hampering their employability and their economic prospects. This current situation is detrimental to innovation and economic growth, and particularly affecting artisans and craftsmen who need access to modern tools and training. And therefore, to address these shortcomings, the next NDC government will partner with religious bodies and other non-governmental organizations to invest in diverse skills development programs to enhance the economic opportunities that are available to our young people. And so, the National Apprenticeship Program, which is NAP, and the expanded TVET centers will provide skills upscaling for youth who do not progress to the tertiary level. Political bias and nepotism have tarnished the recruitment processes within Ghana's security services and our public sector. This undermines trust in public institutions and creates disillusionment amongst our youth. In my commitments to establish a dedicated ministry for youth development. This ministry will centralize the coordination of youth initiatives in Ghana. It will facilitate job creation, it will promote entrepreneurship, it will provide scholarships and enhance youth participation in decision-making, while ensuring
the creation of ministry for the youth. Quite interested, isn't it? Well, yesterday somebody asked a question, if you're going to cut down the size of government, but then you say you create ministry for the youth, and then are we really cutting down the size of government? Because there's a new creation where there will have to be employment in there. So the size of government could increase. Well, depending on where you decide to cut the size of government, though. Hamza is here, and he's definitely going to speak to the issues with regards to what John Dramani Mahama, who is the flag bearer of the NDC, spoke about during the Youth Manifesto launch for the NDC. Hello, once again.
Hello.
Yes,
Good morning to you,
I think
Angela.
earlier
Yes.
your sound was not too good,
working,
so
yeah.
you can now greet all your family members.
I can imagine. I think good morning to you and your crew, and also to our cherished viewers out there, and of course to the NDC fraternity out there, especially the Ghanaian youth.
Were you at the Manifesto launch?
Yes, I was there.
Fantastic.
I was
All right.
there. As someone who has served the youth of this country in different capacities, because I've had the rare privilege of being, first of all, a president of the Association of Teacher Training Colleges in the Northern Sector when I was training to be a teacher somewhere in 2005, 2006. So, and also subsequently as president of the National Union of Ghana Students. So I think that I'm fairly aware of some of the challenges that confront the educational sector, and most importantly, the Ghanaian youth. So it was important for me to be there to see whether the suggestions and inputs that we have made over the years will be captured in the NDC Youth Manifesto. And I can say with all sense of satisfaction and joy that indeed almost 90% of our expectations as Ghanaian youth were met. And so for us, the responsibility is now on us as youth of the National Democratic Congress to carry the "Thy said the Lord" of the NDC to the Ghanaian youth. And hopefully this time around, they will listen to our message and give us an overwhelming support in the coming elections for us to also contribute meaningfully to the development of this country.
Right. Do you think the NDC can deliver these campaign promises? Let's not forget that in the year let me not take you even too far. Let's go to 2008 campaign promises. We come to 2012 campaign promises. We come to 2016 campaign promises, 2020 campaign promises. We are weighing these two political parties. Who has delivered the most for you? And so when you hear these campaign promises, who do you believe can deliver? Is that the person that you're going to vote for? Is that the group or the political party you're going to vote for come December 7th? Let's hear your voice this morning. I think one of the things that stands out is the creation of a new ministry, which is the youth ministry. Let's talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, I think basically over the years, what we have had is the Youth and Sports Ministry. And so you realize that because of our failure to foster a good synergy between sports and youth, both sectors have been affected over the years. And so His Excellency President Mahama is of the view that the time has come, especially considering the interest in the youth lately in the governance of this country, and also legitimately so demanding for a role in governance also, and even in the employment space, he deems it appropriate to dedicate a specific ministry to youth affairs, so that at least as Ghanaian youth, we can begin to engage each other and also make meaningful suggestions to that particular ministry and see how we can all work together as Ghanaian youth to develop the youth of this country. And so for some of us, it is important. And I note your concern about the fact that there is an earlier promise to reduce the size of government. And so addition of a new ministry. The important thing is that His Excellency is not adding a new ministry.
Okay.
What he's simply doing is realigning. And he has made it clear.
So he's going to divide the sports and the youth? Is that what it is?
Not necessarily. So there's the tendency for the sports to now come under another existing ministry. For instance, we have Ministry of Environment, Science and Technology already. Apart from the Ministry of Environment, Science and Technology, there's also the Ministry of Women's and Children Affairs. And so you can make those alignments.
But where can sports fit? Because currently, even sports, being sports, youth and sports, is struggling.
It's struggling, and youth is also struggling. So there's the need for us to decouple the two. And for all you know, I don't want to jump the gun. He is doing the realignment with the senior players of the National Democratic Congress. And when the full manifesto is launched, we'll all be in a position to tell where the sports ministry now would be, whether it will be a ministry standing alone or to be part of an existing ministry. But I can assure you that whatever the outcome may be, the number of ministries are going to reduce under his tenure as president. And it is something that he's committed to. But you see, it is important. I can understand the fear or the doubt when it comes to promises churned out by politicians. But you all know that we are dealing with His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, who has demonstrated unparalleled commitment to fidelity to the principles of our Constitution and to truth. And so he's not a character who will mount any political platform and start throwing out political promises that he cannot fulfill, especially guided by his experience too in government. You all remember that in 2016, as sitting president, he had every opportunity to throw out any promises that he wanted to, because he was in charge of the national kitty there. But even the temptation, driven by the New Patriotic Party, especially driven largely by His Excellency Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, did not move His Excellency John Dramani Mahama to make unrealistic promises to this country. And so that is the kind of person we are dealing with. If he makes his promises, he sticks to it. And I can assure you that indeed, if he has said that he's going to reduce the number of ministries, he's going to reduce the number of ministries. And if he has said that he's going to create a new ministry in the form of a youth ministry, be rest assured that His Excellency President Mahama will do just that. And when we talk about the youth ministry, you remember the National Youth Authority. It was under His Excellency President John Dramani Mahama that he found a dedicated source of funding for that National Youth Authority. And so we would look at the current National Youth Authority and see how we can tie that in to the proposed youth ministry that he's coming to create. And I can assure you that
so you're going to break all these youth authorities and put them all under the youth ministry.
Precisely.
Is that what it is?
Precisely. Okay. So you are likely to even see the Youth Employment Agency now functioning under the Ministry of Youth.
Okay.
So that we can have an adequate platform to at least evaluate all our youthful initiatives and how we can coordinate them as we move on as a country. And the National Democratic Congress has that track record. So you can look at the education. Give us the track record. For instance, if you look at the educational, I made reference to the dedicated source of funding for the National Youth Authority. And I can also tell you that even the Ghana Education Trust Fund, that was largely invented to look into our educational needs of our country, was driven largely by the youth of this country in collaboration with the Ghanaian government and an NDC government at that. So we have that track record. When we make promises to the Ghanaian people, we keep to it. We brought in Ghana Education Trust Fund to support the educational drive of this country. And you would agree with me that most of our educational institutions are occupied by young people. So when we say we will do something... But under your
tenure, teachers went on strike. Teachers were not too happy. Salaries were being delayed.
Expected. You see, what we need to understand was that at that point we had economic challenges. And why they were on strike had nothing to do with salaries being delayed. It had to do more with entitlements, arrears of salaries. Because you know that this is not just the National Democratic Congress. As a government, there's a policy you run. When you recruit newly trained teachers, it takes 3 or 4 months for their salaries to be processed. So at the time you are processing their salaries, they will be in the schools teaching. So they will be entitled to the arrears. But when they are subsequently migrated to the payment system, government would design a procedure to pay them their arrears. That was the case we handled in 2000, between 2012 and 2013. So it had nothing to do with payment of salaries. And you remember that was also, sorry? You remember that was the time. It was the same time. You remember that it was the same time the, what do we call it, the Ghanaian youth, it was the same time most teachers raised concern about the number of arrears they were entitled to. And what we simply said, that we were not willing to pay more than 3 months arrears as a government, because we needed to investigate the list that were being sent to the Ministry of Finance. And indeed, when we did the investigation, remember, we had to interdict about 3 people from the Controller and Accountant General's Department who were engaged in inflating the number of months newly trained teachers had worked.
Did you explain this to the teachers?
We did. You see,
so how come they went on strike?
Unfortunately, what happened then in 2016 was that the whole space was occupied by the deceptive-driven propaganda of the National New Patriotic Party.
You had a voice to protect yourself.
We had a voice, and we did our best. But unfortunately, that was not a conducive period for us. Even under this government, teachers who have been newly posted, it takes them more than 6 months for their salaries to be processed. It's a normal practice. We can all agree to fast-track the process now, and that is what we are doing. Under the National Democratic Congress, it never took more than 3 months.
Okay. Awal Mohammed is here, and he's representing the NPP. Good morning, Awal.
Good morning.
It's been a while.
Yes.
You've been traveling a lot, eh?
Yes, because it's an elections here, and we'll have to move around the country and campaign. I am a part of the national campaign team, especially in the Zongo community. So I will have to crisscross the country to campaign, especially where there are Zongos.
Right. And I guess you're going to Takoradi on Saturday.
Sure.
And you will deliver your manifesto as well.
Yes.
Now, you heard NDC's manifesto yesterday. They spoke about a lot of things, not their main manifesto, actually, manifesto for the youth. And this is the first time the youth is having a manifesto, which has, sparked a lot of interest because Ghanaian youth are so excited that a political party has delivered a manifesto purposely for them. The NPP, do you have similar manifesto for the youth?
Thank you so much. Good morning to our cherished viewers and good morning to my brother. And thank you so much for this opportunity. I think we have a mother manifesto which has everything, the youth, women, and all sectors of the economy. So we don't have a separate manifesto for the youth, but we have a manifesto that has everything put together. I believe that it's about 119 days to elections. And if any serious political party should be launching a manifesto by now, the NDC has been in opposition for the last 8 years. They are struggling to even put together a manifesto. Now look at what they did yesterday. What shows that what is contained in that youth manifesto will be what is in the mother manifesto, because they may put something out, but unfortunately, if they submit the document to the Electoral Commission, because they are supposed to submit a manifesto to the Electoral Commission, what shows that what they are telling us will be in that document. So I am actually surprised that a party that has been in opposition for the last 8 years is struggling 119 days to elections. They still do not have a manifesto put together. They have now segregated it that there is a youth manifesto. So
how do you know they don't have a manifesto put together?
Because you see, you have written 2 different manifestos. You know who your leader is for the last 2 years. And still, nobody can pinpoint areas. For instance, on energy, if you ask them today, if you ask them on energy, what are they going to do?
But they are yet to deliver their manifesto. You are yet to deliver your manifesto as well.
But we have a flag bearer. Just after elections, 2 months after the elections, he came with 70-something policies, different policies that touches on every sector of the economy. Because we didn't have time. Looking at the time that we elected him, and looking at the time that he has to consult and pick a running mate and so on. Within 2 months, he went and delivered a policy document on what you will see in the manifesto. Then a manifesto team was put together. Then the manifesto team has finished its work. We're going to launch it because we're working according to our pace. The NDC has really the track record of waiting for us to launch a manifesto before they launch. If you check the last four elections, if you don't launch a manifesto, the NDC will never launch their manifesto.
Everybody has a strategy, right?
Yes, but
so maybe that's their strategy.
So I'm saying that's their strategy.
Yeah.
They will always want for us to finish so that they can put something. You remember when in 2008 we said we'll do the Northern Development Authority. When their manifesto came, they said they will do SADA. And what happened with SADA? You understand? So they don't really have policies. That's one. Two is
they gave policies yesterday for the youth. So if you say they don't really have
two
policies,
is that
because the young ones, the
yes.
youth, actually were very excited with the kind of policies that the NDC delivered to them.
How did you know this? Because they delivered it yesterday and we are interrogating it today.
No,
so let's interrogate it and see whether the youth will be excited about the manifesto. I heard him say that they will move Youth Employment Agency to the Ministry of Sports. You see? One president
no, he never said that.
I heard it.
No, that's not what you said. You are interpreting it wrongly. So there is supposed to be the creation of a ministry for youth. He didn't say that youth will be moved to anywhere.
Youth Employment Agency. I heard him say.
Yeah, he said it could be that they will move it under it. That's what he said.
It could be they will move it under it.
Yes.
The thing is that when President Kufuor started National Youth Employment Program, it was under the Youth and Sports Ministry. It is the NDC that moved it to sports. You understand? When President Kufuor started National Youth Employment Program, it was under Ministry for Youth and Sports.
So who moved it to where?
The NDC moved it to, it was under the Ministry of Employment. NDC moved it to sports. And changed the name
YEA to
sports and changed the name to JIDA. When the embezzlement happened, they sent it to Parliament and Parliament moved it back to the Employment Ministry because that is the original place that is supposed to be. So if you're telling me now that you still move it, it means you are bereft with ideas on policies and how these things are done. And again, there is an act that's clearly put it under the Employment Ministry because the goal of Youth Employment Agency is to give the youth employment opportunities. And the cap is between the ages of 18 and 35. They will still sit under the Ministry of Employment.
If you have, well, let me ask you this. If you have a ministry for youth, is it not only right that if you are going to have a Youth Employment Agency where the name is Youth Employment Agency, it will be under that ministry for youth?
You see, it was experimented and it didn't work out. Because between 2000 and when it was changed to JIDA, it was moved to Youth and Sports. And it didn't work out. When it went to Parliament, Parliament, in its wisdom, felt that because it is about employment, everything employment, put it under the Employment Ministry. And that is how the Youth Employment Agency was moved to the Employment Ministry.
Well, for that, are you sure it's going to be moved, or you said it could?
First of all, before I get to that point, I think that let me respond briefly.
I was thinking
I'll come back. I just want to ask. I'm asking the question and then.
Even though I was late, but
yes.
At least
you speak. Don't worry. I'm very fair here, so you don't have a problem. Okay.
I think first of all, it is inaccurate to allege or to state publicly that the NPP has always launched their manifesto before the National Democratic Congress. It's not true because the facts don't support that. In 96 and in 92, you never launched your campaigns, your manifestos before the National Democratic Congress. Okay. Also in the 2008 and 2012 elections, it is not accurate that you launched our manifesto before us.
Okay.
But you see, the issue even has nothing to do with the speed at which you launch your manifestos. It has to do with the tact, like you indicated, and most importantly, the time. Because we are dealing with an entire country. And for you to be able to come out with a manifesto that is reflective of the aspirations of the people, you need to invest time in engaging those who matter. And as part of the engagement process, you need to be thorough. It is not just an agenda to win elections. After winning elections, there is that odious task of leading this country. And it is therefore not surprising. If you remember the 2020 manifesto, the National Democratic Congress launched. It was widely accepted in this country as one of the best since 1992. I'm referring here to our People's Manifesto. All seasoned commentators, especially within the governance space, indicated that they had never encountered such a manifesto since '92.
Okay.
And it is the same kind of thorough approach that we are dedicating to this particular manifesto. And again, you have said that when we eventually...
I'm just asking you a question, so because I'll come to your time for you to
Okay, you see, we have indicated that we are creating a youth ministry.
Okay.
You are referring to an act of parliament that makes the youth agency part of the Ministry of Youth Employment. An act can always be amended depending on the government's policy direction. And we have indicated that as part of our engagement process, if it is prudent for us to move the youth employment agency, and from where we sit, we feel that it is prudent.
Okay.
If it is important for us to move the youth employment agency to that of the youth ministry, it is something we will vigorously pursue.
Okay, all right. Well.
Yes. So I heard one of the policies that the NDC says that they will pay for first-year academic facility user fees for the university. So is that correct?
The tertiary.
That's correct.
Yes.
Level 100.
That's correct.
So you see, in 2008, in 2004, when President Kufuor was bringing the youth the health insurance scheme, when he was launching it, they opposed it. They said it was not right for that time for Ghana to have the entire country being on on health insurance. Now, when it got to 2007, 2008, the entire country was solidly behind the health insurance and was looking at how it will be managed.
But who started health insurance? Wasn't it under Rawlings?
Which Rawlings?
Jerry John Rawlings. He
Which-
started.
You don't even know why you're talking
Where did
about
he
my
start
brother.
it? Where did he
know.
start
You
it?
can
no
Google
idea.
it and check.
Google what?
Yes, check. It's there.
Who started National Youth Employment health insurance scheme?
Health insurance scheme was started under Jerry John Rawlings. You
Which?
can check. You can check, Awal.
Which
Let's not
constituencies?
argue it.
We are all from constituencies.
Let's not argue it, Awal. Just check.
Ashanti region where?
Awal.
Where did he start?
Awal. I said check.
I should check what?
Awal, just check.
I live this era. It is not something that I should go and Google.
Awal.
Probably you were younger than
health,
but I can tell
yes.
you that the
surprised.
national
Surprised.
under His
I'm
Excellency John Dramani Mahama.
That it was launched under Rawlings.
Yes.
Where?
Awal, you can check.
No, you see, I am telling you that the act started in 2003. Check the Health Insurance Act.
Awal, but you can check.
I should check what?
Anyway, you
The
continue.
law that brings health insurance that the NDC opposed was in 2003.
Quickly. You see, okay, no.
2003. Then we have National Mutual Health
So
Insurance.
the launch was by President Rawlings.
Which
the
year?
launch. I'm going to get it for
Which
you. But
year
you
did Rawlings launch
You continue.
health insurance?
You continue.
La ilaha illallah.
No, continue.
I'm surprised that
No,
you are feeding into the propaganda of the NDC. I have lived in Ashanti all my life. Health insurance never started
How
in
old
Ashanti
were you?
region.
How old were you?
I was in
98 and 99.
98 and 99. I was in senior high school.
Sorry.
Yes.
I can pardon you.
I was in
No, but
senior high
continue
school
though.
in 1999.
When was the first piloting of the mutual health scheme?
Which pilot?
When was the first done?
Which pilot? Who did the
No,
pilot?
but gentlemen, please
was under
continue.
the-
Awal, continue
Who
with your
did the
point.
pilot?
Awal, please.
So,
Awal,
the
please
Catholic
continue.
Church doing a pilot
please.
in Nkuranza
Awal,
in
continue with your
1998.
point,
It
please.
means
It
that
is not
Rawlings was
about
that.
Awal,
creaming on top of your
continue
point.
with
You see,
your point.
I'm even surprised.
Awal, make your point. Gentlemen,
okay,
please.
that's fine.
What we do here is we make our point. There's no need for us to be screaming.
Yeah,
Just make
screaming.
your
Just
point.
take your
and
time
we
and
go.
make your point.
So you're making your point.
I am
Make
saying
it.
that.
Yes. Thank
I am
you.
saying that National Health Insurance
Okay.
Scheme has an act, and the act was promulgated in 2003.
Okay.
And at that time, the NDC opposed it because they said we couldn't do it nationwide.
Okay, yours is the nationwide.
But
That's
what is
you're
health
talking
insurance?
about. Okay.
At that time that you were saying that there was a pilot, the pilot was done by Catholic Church,
Okay.
not the government.
Okay.
Catholic Church did it in Nkuranza and not government of Ghana. So Rawlings never launched health insurance
Okay.
anywhere.
But it was under his tenure. Is that what it is?
Also, if Adam Etena, there is an initiative for a church doing something, I should own it and say that I have done that. If a church is doing something right now, we should just say that Yesu Krum. We should say that it's part of our achievements because it's our time that the Pentecost Church had Yesu Krum. Is that what you mean for us to say? No, and that is not correct, because government of Ghana has been entrusted with some mandate. And between 1983, that Rawlings came, to 2001, there was no health insurance in this country. Government never piloted health insurance in this country between that period. That's one. Two is that health insurance was launched in 2003. And there is an act of parliament that brought in this, the policy. That time, the NDC opposed it. In 2008, when they saw that Ghanaians are looking at who will manage it better, they came with a policy and said that President Kufuor was callous to even have he was taking a premium for every year. So when they come, they will give us one-time premium. And that was what they proposed. In 2008, when they came, what happened? They didn't do the one-time premium. Exactly what they are doing right now. When we started campaigning for free senior high school in 2008, they sponsored over 40 different adverts against it. The minister, the late Lee Okran, said that even the Soviet Union couldn't really do that. According to Lee Okran, when he was the Minister of Education, he said even the Soviet Union, that everyone should go to school for free, eat free, even the students eat. He said that is the height of utopia. That was what they said. Now they are looking, they have heard that every Ghanaian is looking at who is coming to manage it. They are saying that they launch it and they will make it better. That is the same thing with this free tertiary. That, well, everyone is saying that, well, free senior high school has come to help. There are a lot of graduates. So now let's get them a policy, or let's just put something together and say that when they are going to the university, the first year will be for free, so that at least they will...
so they are just trying to
do what they did in 2008, when they said that there will be a one-time premium, and it didn't happen for 8 years. So they are still doing the same thing. That is one. Two is that Dr. Mahama Otukono, who is the head, the registrar of the propaganda school in their headquarters, has said that this is a loan and not a free thing. So the free that we have heard, he put it on his Facebook page, that this is a loan because it is the Student Loan Trust Fund that will do this. I can read for you what...
When did he put it out?
Yesterday, just yesterday.
He put it out that is a loan?
Yes. Yes.
Can I see, please?
Yes.
I think
I'll just...
you've given
I'll just,
a while.
You'll speak, don't worry. I just want to see what Awal is saying, and then
yes.
I can move on to you.
Yes. I'll just show it to you, what Peter Buama Otukono has said about the thing that... so, read it.
Okay, so an hour ago, he actually said no stress fees for tertiary students, no fee stress for level 100 students, as the academic facility user fee for level 100 students is paid through an enhanced and responsive student loan scheme.
Yes, enhanced student
No,
loan
but he
scheme.
said it's paid through. So
Paid through.
Yes, so maybe there's a loan system that students are entitled to that they are going to use to pay for them. So it doesn't mean that you, the student, you are getting this assets for a loan base, so you have to pay back. Is that what it is?
And just to provide...
He will explain, that's what he said.
What does student loan do? As I speak, Dr. Baumia has launched the no guarantor system, where every student, when you get admission to the university, you can still go to Student Loan Trust Fund for them to pay your admission for you.
Okay.
This is something that is already happening.
Okay, let me move.
I think, first of all, it is important to state that our asserted earlier on that the manifesto we have written was the guarantee, the youth manifesto we presented yesterday was the guarantee that it will be captured in the main manifesto. Let me assure you, and many of our viewers, that this is extracted from the main manifesto of the National Democratic Congress, which is done. And so most of these policies contained in the youth pledge or the youth manifesto, when eventually we launch the national manifesto, will be captured in there. Unlike them, we have demonstrated fidelity to the truth and to the Ghanaian people, and we have made a resolve that we will not run a campaign based on deception. So he should rest assured that it is not a campaign we'll run. And yes, to the issue of academic free academic user fees, that first years are going to enjoy. Like I indicated, if you look at the composition of the National Democratic Congress, it's not accidental that over 70% of the former student leaders eventually find themselves in the National Democratic Congress. And they took a critical role in shaping out this policy. The difficulty surrounding our tertiary institutions is mostly in first year. You travel either from the northern sector, from Upper East, Savannah region, into Greater Accra. And it is difficult for you to settle either in University of Ghana or Ghana Institute of Management and Public Administration, UPSA, as a first year student. Because it is likely that you may not even have parents within these vicinities. And so the government thought through, the party thought through it and decided that in order to reduce the stress on first years, the government would absorb the first year academic user fees. And last year it was within, I think it was in the region of about 1,800, those who are in first year now. So that is what the government is absorbing. And per the numbers, unlike them, when we throw out a policy, we give you the financial feasibility of that policy and how we would sustain it. And we have indicated that last year, I think the universities admitted the average of about 125,000. And if you do the figures, we are looking at about 275 million Ghana cedis to fund that project. And we gave you a breakdown. Because if you look at their government expenditure, 2018 alone, the government spent, 2024 alone, the government spent more than 3 billion on running the office of the president. And we have indicated that we are going to cut down the numbers at the office of the president. We are going to reduce ministers. So even limiting ourselves to the wastage at the presidency, we can fund that project, which will cost this country about 275 million Ghana cedis. And going into second year, we still appreciate that there are likely going to be students who may not be able to pay academic user fees. And we are proposing the Student Loan Trust Fund Plus. And that is where leadership is important.
Which one is the Student Loan Trust Fund Plus? And which one
so that is what I'm coming to explain. The first year is free academic user fees.
Okay.
The second year is the Student Loan Trust Fund Plus. Under the current Student Loan Trust Fund, what you do is you are given support to pay for your survival on campus, to pay for handouts that your lecturers will throw out. So that is the current nature of the Student Loan Trust Fund. Over the years, as student leaders, we have been arguing that there is the need for government to expand it and make it possible for even parents and students to be able to borrow from the Student Loan Trust Fund to offset their school fees. The NDC government or the NDC party has finally listened. And as part of the Student Loan Trust Fund Plus, now apart from the monthly stipends you can get from the Student Loan Trust Fund, there's also an opportunity for you to put in an application to pay your subsequent fees in second and third and fourth year. So that after school, when you get a job or get employed by the system, you can begin to pay back the loan. So that is the whole idea behind the Student Loan Trust Fund Plus. So that is what my brother doesn't understand. And you see, when I tell you that
there's a plus.
There's a plus to the current Student Loan Trust Fund. And under the plus, you can now have access to a loan.
Okay, but you already had access to a loan.
You had access to a loan to finance your daily expenses on campus and textbooks. It had nothing to do with payment of school fees.
Okay.
If he attended the university, which I'm sure he did.
If I take the loan and the loan is enough for school fees.
No, the current system, the Student Loan Trust Fund, is not enough for.
It's not enough for. How much is it? How much is student loan?
I don't know the figure.
I never took student loan.
I don't know the figure.
I did.
Oh,
I did. It was about 300 Ghana cedis then.
Okay, I never took student loan.
At that time, we were paying 200 and something cedis as academic facility.
I
was a former SRC president. I served as SRC president in the university and in the public university.
So did you also take student loan?
250.
Anyway, I should ask you.
Yes. 2009, 2010.
Okay, that's what you
University of Education, Winnipeg.
I don't know about it, but I can tell you that the University
we're paying that amount of money, and the amount of money was around 300.
University of Ghana, even my first year fees was 700 Ghana cedis. So it is not accurate. And I was in university before you.
Okay. So in university,
wait, gentlemen, one at a time.
Let me also provide another useful information. He knows, and that even some of the things we fought for as student leaders then had to do with the distorted nature of the schools from our various tertiary institutions. And so we're requesting for an alignment. And that is why the NDC government, NDC party is promising that when we come, we even engage all the tertiary institutions and see how we can address another problem of access to beds for our students. Because you agree with me, apart from the academic user facility fees, another major challenge has to do with accommodation. And it's something we have made a commitment under this youth manifesto that we will resolve. And
okay, so now the clarity is that, wait, I just want to, the clarity on the ground is that there is going to be a student loan plus.
Student Loan Trust Fund Plus.
Trust Fund Plus, where continuing students will have access to it.
Precisely.
That's what it is.
Precisely.
And so for the first year students, they are going to enjoy free tertiary education, academic user fee. Free.
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 Okay. That's
Okay. All right. Well.
So, I don't, but so before he comes, and I think that you gave him.
No, but your time is almost up.
No, but I'm just going to respond quickly to the NHIS thing he made reference.
No, I'll come back to you on it. I'll come back to you. I know you have it, so I'll come back. So write it down so that you don't forget.
I paid 2009-2010 academic year. I paid 615 cedis as admission fee. 615 cedis at University of Education, Winneba. Again, our academic facility user fees.
2010?
Yes, in 2010-2011 academic year, it was around 250 cedis. This is a fact because I am a former SRC president of that institution. And I was the unified president at that time. Kumasi, Mampong, Ejumako, and the main campus. I was the unified president for that institution. That is one. Two is that the student loan, when they left it, if your family member is not a Senate contributor, you cannot access the student loan.
That I remember, though.
Yes. When we came, we took everything off. What it can cater for now has to do with your fees and textbooks and some few other things.
Right now, the loan is going for a minimum of 1,500 to 2,000 cedis maximum. So how can that pay for your tuition, your books, and your feeding? How?
Continuous students don't pay as much as 1,800.
How much did they pay?
Continuous students pay something in the region of 1,000, 2,000, 3,000.
But if you give continuous students,
it depends on the university.
So continuous students
why would you
are paying.
It is not straight jacket. University of Ghana fees is different from UCC
But we are all in Ghana. We are all getting access to the same amount of money. So if you tell me that
when he entered the University of Ghana, they were paying 700. He entered before me. I entered, but I was paying 615.
Okay.
The universities have different categories of fees that they pay. So it is not true that every student is paying in excess of 2,000 cedis a year. That is not correct.
Okay. What was the minimum?
That's actually the minimum.
The minimum is 2,200.
That's actually the minimum. He doesn't know that.
The minimum.
Yes, and the continuous student is 1,008.
Well, I don't know about that.
Okay.
But what I'm saying is that there is a current system that was launched by Dr. Baumia that even if your family members are not Senate contributors, you can still go with your Ghana card to access student loan. So what are they proposing again? It is something that is currently running. That if you are in any university, you don't need any of your family members. So you came, and that is what we inherited. The Student Loan Trust Fund, where you need someone who is a Senate contributor before you can access it. So that is what. Two is that accommodation. When you go, if you.
But the question here for me and for many Ghanaians who are watching, is it about the access of the loan or is about the money being enough to cater for your needs?
So I doubt if really anyone has come out to say that the money is not enough to cater for their needs because they are still accessing it. And I know there is a student rep on the board because we usually elect SLTF rep at NUCS so that the person represents.
So we assume that...
You can interrogate it. This is a new thing that has come. This is a running story. You can interrogate it. Get the Student Loan Trust Fund rep who is a student. Get him in the studio, let him understand, just understand how they are accessing it so that at least it will be easier.
No, the access is not a problem. It is whether the money is enough or is not.
Okay.
Because you see, the policy they are bringing is more of we want you to be comfortable.
Yes.
We are giving you free level 100, and then when
so
you
when
continue...
you say free level 100, for instance, KNUST, if the person is paying 1,800 or 2,000 as academic facility user fees, as maybe humanities. The hostel alone is around 4,000. So what have you done? If you bring someone from FJC Zongo to come and be a student at KNUST, and you are saying that the government has absorbed 1,800, where will he get the 4,000?
But is that not the same thing happening under free SHS?
No.
Free SHS, there are children whose parents will have to bring them. There were no beds at a point in time.
Which school?
Feeding.
Which school?
Wow, this one, let's not go into it
Which
because
school?
that's not what it is. But we have, I as a TV presenter, I have had a lot of viewers send me messages with regards to the struggle their children have
Don't
been
be fed
through.
with this propaganda.
I am not being propaganda.
Free senior high school is entirely free.
Yes, but I'm not saying that this
So is this the same as someone saying that I can use?
Actually,
you can take your time and make your
That is how I talk.
No, but you don't have to.
If you're not comfortable,
No,
you
it's
can
a-
just
Hamza, allow him. Allow him.
to scream
No,
to
no,
make
no.
the point.
That is how I talk.
No, everybody
change
and
me,
how they
I talk.
speak.
I have been on this
well,
platform for a long time, so I know.
Yes. So,
To make your
don't,
point.
Hamza and Awal. Okay, so I think I'm going to read some messages, but
Yes.
you know, we know that when it comes to these implementations, there's been struggles in the past. When free SHS started, it started on that note. It had its own struggle. It had its own
So today,
challenges. So if you are making, you know, reference to something that could happen, saying that, oh, if you give somebody a free level 100, but the person is coming from Nkranza to Tech, and the person will struggle and all of that, the struggles happened also.
No, you see, with free senior high school, you will be sent to, if it is a senior high school, a boarding. You won't pay anything for feeding. You won't pay anything for boarding. You won't pay for anything. In this case, they are saying that the cost, which is around 6,000 cedis, they will take care of 2,000. And the 4,000, how do you take care of that? That is the question a lot of Ghanaians are asking. That when you go to the university, it is not the academic facility user fee. That is the cost of the university education. It is the feeding and the hostel. And in KNUST, the average hostel is around 3,000 to 4,000. So if you're paying 1,800 for that person from FJC Zongo, where will he get the 4,000 to come and pay?
But if you're not paying anything, the person will have to pay the 4,000.
Absolutely. You see, and that is
okay.
why that is the,
So,
you simply don't understand the meaning of academic visa.
I'm just asking though. I'm just asking. Anyway, we are reading some messages right now, but don't forget that Quick Cash is still ongoing. I haven't mentioned it today. Please pardon me. You can actually pick up your phone. My gentleman here, I think you should play the Quick Cash game. Or because are you Muslim as well?
yes, we're Muslims.
Just lost.
But you can still play though.
You just lost the bet.
So you pick up your phone and you dial *281# and you select number 7, which is Joy Prime, and play. The more you play, the more your chances of winning. Okay, so let's see where our messages or what messages we have in here. Good morning, Joy Prime. From Audu Idrisu Bono is the Deputy Communication Director for NPP. The youth policies NDC and NPP launch is full of scam again. Under this same Mahama, Mr. Mahama and NDC that failed the youth to the extent that Unemployment Graduate Association was formed. Mahama from 2013 to 2016 could not employ graduated youth in Ghana. So what has changed? No 419 again. NPP cleared all the backlogs of unemployment graduates and still employing.
You didn't read the first message.
No. So I didn't even see. So this is before. This is today.
Okay.
So some of them actually are repetitive messages, so we can't read because we don't even have the time. And even when your message is long, we cut it short, actually.
He says he loves
Yes.
his wife.
Is that what?
He loves his wife.
Oh, we didn't see, sorry. Good morning to the youth in Ghana. The next NDC government will remove the following: teacher license exams, COVID-19 taxes, football betting taxes, baller taxes. I urge everyone should come out on the 7th of December and vote massively for the NDC. John Mahama will make our lives better. Abochi Philip from Qatar. Good morning, beautiful Roslyn. I trust the NDC to deliver on their promises than the NPP. I trust John Mahama and NPP. Never again. Ni Aite Few from Teshi. The NPP government is more committed to delivering their manifesto promises than the NDC. Okay, that's nice. Okay. I really want, these are the things that I want to hear. Who do you think delivers on campaign promises the most? Sometimes it's not about the campaign promise, who delivers, because what you say into our ears is different from what is implemented. Good morning, Rosalie. Good morning to the incoming MP for Esikado Kentan constituency, Professor Dr. Grace Ayensu Dankwa. Listening to JDM on the Youth Manifesto makes me feel there is hope for we, the youth. All is job, 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 and the youth are yelling for job everywhere and can't find one under the nepotism government, NPP, and vote massively for JDM and NDC candidates for a better future from Albert in Kojokrom, Esikado Kentan. Good morning, host. I believe and trust strongly that this is durable because NDC care about we the youth, tells Kelechi. Okay, so I'm Elijah from Sunyani and I ponder MPP has created more jobs than his twin brother NDC and all what Mr. Mahama is saying is just political thought. He can't fulfill anything for the youth. Okay. Good morning, Joy Prime. I don't think the Ghanaians are having a short memory as we were being described by Mr. Dead Goat, aka JDM. Since when did John Mahama and the NDC become magician in job creation? Aziz Bayo from Wa. JDM has proven to be a selfless, hardworking and vibrant leader who have the youth of this land at heart. His government is not one that is built on needless propaganda and empty sloganeering as the MPP. Indeed, I firmly believe that JDM will put an end to favoritism and nepotism when it comes to recruitment of our youth into the security services. I want to use this platform to call on all the well-meaning youth of Ghana to vote massively for JDM and the NDC come December 7th. A vote for JDM is a vote for the creation of jobs and economic stabilization. Honorable Timothy is not in your studios today, but my greetings to him, Daniel Akpaliok from Sandema. Yes, he's not here today. Okay, good morning. JDM, we are praying for you, and by God's grace, you shall win to come save us from this disappointed government. NAPCO trainees, 9 months arrears still owed. We don't want scams. Is this true, though? Well.
What?
He's saying that NAPCO trainees, 9 months arrears still owed. You have to find out. So I'll give you the opportunity to find out. We don't want scams initiatives like NAPCO, but sustainable job for us. My worrying is that in this country is about payment of money as protocol before you get jobs. Today, if you don't have 10,000 Ghana cedis and above, you will never and ever get a public service job. This is real and happening now. I know many people who pay such monies and now have been posted to district assemblies, Ghana Health Service and others. The poor will not get any jobs unless a God-fearing president comes to heal this country before. My colleagues are working now because they paid, but I don't have the money. I'm still sitting in the house. From Albert. I think you should look for Albert and see what you can do for him. Oh, well. Yeah,
we have launched a policy that is, if he has diploma in education, we have launched a policy at the Youth Employment Agency where we are recruiting about 10,000 teachers.
You are not paying those who are in the system. You keep on.
Who told you are not paying? No, who told you are not paying? We are up to date in our payment. We don't owe any beneficiary even a dime. Okay. Not even 1 month.
All right. So
it is not under your care. You, when you were managing Youth Employment Agency, you were paying them. They were not under our office. Okay. I work with the Youth Employment Agency. I'm the head of public relations. I'm telling you what we're doing there.
So he actually went through NAPCO and it looks like he has a struggle.
And I'm telling him that there is an opportunity with the Youth Employment Agency where we are recruiting 10,000 teachers.
You are admitting that NAPCO is a failure.
It's not a failure.
So why are you not
when you have 100,000 people and about only 30,000 people not getting employment, it means...
Okay, so I was asking, what if he's not a teacher? Because it's not just teachers that are watching.
Yes, so the opportunities are two. One is that we will take educational workers, because when you check the MOU that we signed with the Ministry of Education, we're taking the workers who will work in the office and the kitchen, and the others are teachers. So the teachers will be in the junior high school, then the workers will be in the senior high school to support the kitchen. And yes, the kitchen and some few other administrative. Some few other.
What if he's a graduate?
So graduates can't work.
I'm just asking. No, but
you have the matron there who is supposed to be a graduate. She's in the kitchen.
Maybe she trained to be a matron.
Yes.
Maybe she did home economics.
So if
maybe
someone,
he's a science graduate.
So if
will you put him in the kitchen to feed?
If someone is a graduate, he cannot do any work. There are some categories.
Is a guy a qualified teacher or not?
He didn't speak about it though.
Exactly.
He just said he's a NAPCO person. Anyway, we continue. Good morning, Rosalind. John Dramani Mahama. John Dramani Mahama has proved that he is coming to save Ghanaian youth. I want to encourage the youth to support him with their votes. In fact, the 24-hour economy will transform this country. JDM will bring back the collapsed banks, and the Bank of Ghana will work again. And Adro Bawolaya and Arrogant Napo will not continue the nation looting anymore. Ghanaians are saying full stop to the corruption, state looting, family and friends, government, Ejapadia movement. This Ejapadia, we haven't been able to know who wrote it though. Good morning, my favorite presenter, Rosalind. If you're trying to shift the goalposts of fairness and objectivity, you started this since last week though to yesterday when Lawyer La came into your studio. This morning too, you are asking if the NDC can fulfill the creation of the youth ministry. It's only fair that we ask though. It's only fair that we ask. Why wouldn't ask about Lawyer about his deceptive promises he's making to the people of Ghana? His name is Baomia, first of all. He will come into the studio, not him. Your people will come into the studio after the manifesto is read, and we will definitely probe into it so that we get more information.
Baolaya that you have
that's what I say, it's supposed to be Baomia.
It is still Joy News that said that this Baolaya emanated from Sami Jenfi.
No, but you see, when you...
but you are...
But what is wrong with that? I don't see anything wrong with that. Because is it not true that he's a liar?
It's not true that Mahama is also a liar.
For your information,
because
Mahama is a celebrated liar in this country. Everybody knows that.
Mahama is a celebrated liar
and restrained. Why we don't call him? Why we restrain ourselves from doing that? It's because of our training. But in truth, if you say things and you don't live up to expectation,
Mahama promised one-time premium and he didn't do it.
And Mahama moved your mutual district fund to a national health insurance scheme.
He promised 10 teacher training colleges in 2012.
Please, can I have some decorum?
Is he not also a liar?
Baumia is the one who introduced deception into our
Can I have some decorum, please? Thank you very much. For your information, we can align ministries like the Chief Development President, His Excellency JDM, stated earlier. Rosalind, despite my criticism of you today, still you're my favorite presenter. I love the criticism though, so it's fine. Say the MPP stole everything from the USA President Bush inaugural speech to Ghana about the 1 million youth employment into IT promised by JDM. Honorable Seba Al-Hassan, Zongo Caucus Coordinator. Thank you so much. Good morning. My name is Chiani Kake from Etimatim in the Upper West Akim constituency of the Eastern region. Today is the very first time I'm mentioning this name, so pardon me. On this Youth Day, it's heartwarming to hear favorably from the incoming President Mahama. Mahama got down to the youth level to extend of speaking the youth language. The Youth Manifesto is the first of its kind, which is a game changer. We, the youth, want leaders who give us hope and not slogans. Dra, Emmanuel, and Dramani must come. Okay.
Rosalie, you promised to give me the date that Rollins launched the...
I was going to give... I'll give it to you. I've asked my producers to pull it, but there's actually a statement that Bagbin also made here.
No, the date that he launched it, because he said, you know for a fact that he launched...
Let me finish. Bagbin said that national health insurance was started during Rollins' era. I'm quoting what Bagbin said.
No, this is still an NDC person. So you challenge me.
Wait.
It is a challenge between you and I. You said that Rollins launched it, I should check. And I asked you to check because I am saying that health insurance started in 2003.
I'll give you that.
Exactly.
I'm trying to pull my trousers up, sorry.
It was first piloted by His Excellency Flight Lieutenant General Rollins between 97, 98, and subsequently 2000.
Which districts? Where?
Please, you don't ask the questions here. I do the questions.
Exactly.
Thank you very
But
much.
you can go and check it. You have
a laptop in front of you. Go ahead
so you can check it. But it was piloted by His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. But what they did was when they came to power, Jerry Rollins, when they came to power subsequently in 2003, after it halted, and we raised red flags, even as opposition then, because we indicated that the roadmap was there, they should see to the implementation of it and subsequently introduce an act to regulate it. That was what resulted in the promulgation of the act in 2003. And if you go and look at the parliamentary handlers, no National Democratic Congress MP objected or voted against the adoption of the act because we knew that it was the brainchild of the National Democratic Congress. And when they were campaigning, they promised us a national health insurance scheme. He's talking about inconsistency. And so when President Kufuor came, what he could only do was the mutual health insurance scheme.
Okay, so
His Excellency John Dramani Mahama was the one who moved it from mutual to national health insurance and made it better.
Not milk.
Okay. All right. So I have it here. In the year 1997, a pilot insurance scheme will be implemented in Eastern Region. No.
It was.
All right. Let me read. Let me start from the top, because I took from the middle. In the year ahead, access to health care will be improved by the construction of 60 new health centers and 2 polyclinics. On upgrading, sorry, sometimes when you grow old, your eyes get affected. The upgrading of the 15 health centers to district hospital statuses and the rehabilitation of 52 health centers, 8 polyclinics. Okay, let me come down. The address. I'm trying to come down because
it will be.
No, I'm trying to come down
Which
because
document
look at the date of the document.
Which document is that, please?
So I'll try and get it because
That means they just give you a screenshot of that part. But
yes, please
the fact is there. He can go and verify.
Yeah,
I won't verify anything because
let's not do a back and forth.
Because what we all know
Let's
is
not
that
do a back and forth.
what we all know is that
it's okay.
Catholic Church
We know
decided to do some pilots.
From what we know that in the year 1997, under the era of John Jerry Rawlings, there was the scheme that was launched.
Which launched where?
Can deny.
Launched
By
where?
Roslyn, just quickly. You see,
We
can we put the
please?
discussion in context? You see,
Yeah.
first of all, it is important to state that we can
I'll send you the documents.
we can all make
these
references.
I'll send it to you.
We can all make references to what we intend to do as political parties, but one important factor has to do with credibility of the leaders. And we have maintained that if you put John Dramani Mahama alongside Vice President Bawumia, it should be clear to any objective follower of our politics that President John Dramani Mahama has integrity and can be trusted when it comes to promises than Bawumia. Don't forget, it was the same Bawumia before the 2016 election who promised the youth of this country that he was going to pay their rent for them. It was the same Bawumia who promised that they were going to root out unemployment in the country. Under His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, youth unemployment was around 8.7%. Today, under Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia as chairman of the economic management team, unemployment rate is about 14.7%. Comparing the two figures, who can, in all honesty, look Ghanaian youth in the eyes and assure them that this is what I'll do for you? Clearly, it is John Dramani Mahama with that integrity. When you were speaking, I gave you that respect. So please. So again, the same Bawumia promised the good people of this country that he was going to supply free laptops to tertiary institutions. Has it been delivered? No. His politics is one driven by deception and lies. And so the Ghanaian people who were listening to us yesterday and who still listen to us today know that we are presenting an option that is credible and that President Mahama will not mount a podium and promise things that he cannot. And that even if he does so, and the challenges within the government sector makes it difficult for him to implement, President Mahama will have no difficulty in engaging the Ghanaian youth and assuring them that, look, this is what I promise. These are the challenges, and this is the kind of space I need to implement it. We have that track record. He's demonstrated that as sitting president. And you see, if you look, there's one interesting thing about the Youth Manifesto that people are not talking about, and that has to do with our Coders program. I can see the effort by Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia to steal that project. In the 2020...
How is he stealing any project?
We are talking about the Coders program.
But
in 2020, it was captured in our manifesto where we said that we're going to train over 10,000 youth in coding to create over 10,000 jobs. We have repeated it here. Government, an NDC government, will provide all the needed supports, and it was what engineered the creation of even the Accra Digital Center that has provided employment for most of their party communicators today. And so I can assure the Ghanaian youth that we are still committed to that dream, and His Excellency President Mahama already laid the foundation in 2015-2016, and that when he comes back, we would give that the impetus that it is desired. Another interesting factor has to do...
My time is up,
No,
sir.
finally. Another interesting factor has to do with the agricultural business sector. We are making a promise that we will implement what we call the Land and Farm Bank project to support the Ghanaian youth, and will be more than willing to even make initial funding available. That is why we have proposed a creation of a youth credit agency where those who are interested either in farming or any other business entity can work in there. Government will be the guarantor and have access to funding to start their own businesses. And I can assure you that this NDC government that is coming into force 7th January 2025 will be one that will pursue youth development vigorously. And you can tell, even from the way the NDC is running their campaign, from the National Youth Wing to the National Communications Wing, it is not accidental that many of our youth are those leading the charge for change. And the National Democratic Congress will run a government that will be reflective of the interests of the party and not one driven by the propaganda and deception thrown out by Dr. Mahama Bawumia and the New Patriotic Party.
So 2024 elections has to do with the credibility of the two
and Bawumia has
two individuals.
Bawumia has
and
you know that
individuals.
He's on the floor,
one
Hamza.
was a president. This is a former president of Ghana who promised a lot of things in 2012 that he didn't even talk about it, not to talk about even implementing. One is a vice president who led a campaign but cannot implement a single policy on his own, looking at the limitations of our constitution. That is one. Two is that the former president Mahama,
how does your constitution limit?
Promised one-time premium. He failed to do that. He promised 10 teacher training colleges. I'm talking about things he promised as president, as sitting president. And when he was voted for between 2012 and 2016, he promised to build 10 teacher training colleges. He didn't build a single one. Is he a liar? Again, he promised to build vocational schools in Zongos. He did not construct a single one. Is he a liar? Does he have integrity? This is a former president. He promised Jamestown and Elmina fishing harbors. He did not construct these Jamestown and Elmina fishing harbors. We came to construct them. He promised an airport in Cape Coast in the 2012 manifesto. So looking at the two people, one is a vice president, two Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, who has been able to fulfill about 70 to 80% of his campaign promises. One is also a former president who told us that we have short memories in this country. Because if we don't have short memories, someone who presided over a road, someone who presided over, who appointed people who are in jail as I speak, has the effrontery to come and tell us to vote for him. Someone who appointed Sedinam Tamakulu. He wants us to give him opportunity again to appoint people who come and embezzle our funds.
Your time is up. Thank you so
Ghanaians
much.
cannot do that because we don't have short memories.
Okay, well, thank you so much. And I want to say a very big thank you to my two wonderful guests. Gentlemen, I am the one on the floor. Thank you so much. And so, my guests, I know we've had a good time, haven't we? Awal Mohammed represented the NPP and has Suini represented
Mahama
the
appointed
NDC.
into government and will not allow him come and appoint him.
And you will see the thieves that will face the law come.
You said the same in 2008.
And I can assure you,
get one person convicted.
You didn't even get one person convicted. And their wife. All the things Samira Bawumia does and all the transportation
we are not done.
all the transportation Samira Bawumia
I just want you to go quiet.
What I'm saying is that
I need to wrap up.
NDC said same.
Can you
get one person convicted. We said you are thieves. We have gotten people through NCA. They are in jail as I speak. Mahama's brother went to jail because of corruption.
I can assure you that even your president
because of corruption. You did say in 2008, nothing happened.
The rot that is going on, why? You think we don't know?
Okay.
And you yourself.
So gentlemen.
The selling of appointments.
Hamza,
It will come to us.
Hamza.
That is how you make a living. You sell appointments. The job system.
Mahama's brother is in jail.
Hamza.
Mahama's brother is in jail.
And these are the people that these guys have been mandated to manage.
Gentlemen,
Ask him whether he sells appointment letters at the national
are you people aware? Are you people aware that speaking on top of your voices, nobody can hear you? Nobody can. No, wait.
What is he doing?
Wait, gentlemen.
He says I'm shouting.
Deny that you don't sell appointments.
Hamza, you don't have to reply. You don't have to reply.
He said he sells appointment letters.
No. All right. So, gentlemen, now at this point, Hamza, I want all of you to be quiet because I need to wrap up the show. I've given you an opportunity to rant. It's okay. Thank you very much. And so this segment is proudly brought to you by Franco Trading Enterprise. Today, I've allowed them to rant. I didn't do my normal headmistress things. I cooled down a little bit. But when you come back and you do this, I will give you my headmistress side. Anyway.